Hot off the heel of the budget, Aussie drivers could save around $750 on petrol under a new coalition pledge to halve the fuel excise for 12 months. Peter Dutton will officially announce the plan in his budget reply speech tonight, expected to cost around $6 billion, as well as helping Aussies save. Mr Dutton says the policy will have positive knock-on effects throughout the economy as well. For more, we're joined by founder of Fort Lake Asset Management, Dr Christian Bayliss. Great to have you with us. First off, what's your take on this policy? Will it work?
Well, look, it will provide a sugar hit to the economy. It's immediate, and I think when you're comparing it to the tax cuts, which is a little bit like comparing apples and oranges, one will hit the pockets of consumers straight away. A lot of people prefer the immediate relief as opposed to the tax cuts. They come in 15 months at a much bigger cost to the budget. $17 billion over 5 years for the tax cuts, $6 billion for the excise relief. Ultimately, we do have a fiscal expenditure problem. I mean, fiscally, we've grown our expenditure by 6%. That's on par with some of the more dislocated economic periods that we've had as well. So that was a big surprise in the budget. We've got to get that under control. So ultimately, we've got to think about fiscal restraint, but we've also got to think about providing cost of living relief. Yeah,
can we afford it? I mean, we heard Jim Chalmers talking about deficits for the next 10 years. Yeah. Let's talk about it being inflationary potentially, not while it's in place, but 12 months from now. We saw in 2022, the coalition actually brought this in March just before the election. They didn't win that election. It increased inflation by 0.25%. However, things were trending up at that time.
Yeah, well, like any subsidy, we've also seen that in the first homeowners grant. Whenever you put relief onto something, it increases the amount of demand, and you've also always got to factor that in. So it will reduce headline inflation because it will reduce what we call administered inflation immediately. But then what you do is you get this hockey stick type profile in the price of petrol and these sorts of things, because people ultimately will drive more and spend more on that type of commodity.
$6 billion out of the national purse. Can we afford it?
Well, look, we really can't afford too much at the moment. We're running pretty large structural deficits, as we said, for the next 10 years. We've ultimately got to get spending under control. We've got things like the NDIS, Medicare, all of these things which are becoming huge burdens on the budget. But ultimately, we've got to provide, on the other hand, we've got to provide cost of living relief to people. So everyone's screaming out for more money, and the government always says yes. At some point, we have to say no. Look, we've got to restrain ourselves.
And this one particularly, the hits keep coming for Tesla owners. Thanks, Christian. Appreciate it. Here's Nat.